Stand by for the CryptoSavvy podcast. The CryptoSavvy podcast is intended for educational purposes only. As with all things, do your own research, and let's get started. Welcome, this is James. Thanks for joining me for this episode of the CryptoSavvy podcast. Today we're going to hit a quick refresher from last time, some of the basics, the foundation of what cryptocurrency is, wallets, transactions, how exchanges work, mining, and then we're talking a little bit about the example transaction that we did with my friend Clay, where I sent him some Bitcoin. Then we're going to get into some new territory. Now that we have some cryptocurrency, how do we manage it? Last, we'll talk today a little bit about selection criteria, how we choose those next coins for our collection. So thank you for joining us, and let's get right in. So cryptocurrency is a digital record on a widely distributed file called a distributed ledger that is represented as a balance of ownership. If you recall, there's not really any such thing as a physically tangible Bitcoin or Ether. They are not manifested in that manner. It is a digital file reflective of ownership. Wallets are software that allow you to interact with the blockchain using your cryptographic key pair, one public key, one private key, and only the owner of the private key can open a wallet. There's no other way to unlock it. Cryptocurrency transactions are very fast. They are secure, permissionless, and fees are a fraction of a banking transaction. Exchanges are sites where you can securely buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency. And mining is the process of confirming transactions and posting them to the blockchain. In our example, I sent a small amount of Bitcoin to my friend as recompense for a concert ticket. Just a deal he and I had. We didn't need to go through a bank. We didn't have to ask permission to spend our money however we want. That's a freeing device. Cryptocurrency is an economic equalizer in a lot of ways. But let's not belabor that. Now that we've gone through our transaction and have some cryptocurrency, how do we manage it? What is it we do with those private keys that it really is the sole access to our account? Well, there are a couple of different options. One option is to simply leave it on your exchange. Utilize your exchange, log in, conduct your business the way you do, and by default, when you open your account and put your first bit of cryptocurrency, be that Ether, Bitcoin, some other, you are instantiating your wallet. You're creating your unique public address. So you can leave it there. Leaving on an exchange is an interesting proposition. Think about it carefully. An exchange is not a bank. And in doing so, you are abdicating your total control over your private key. So let the buyer beware. It definitely takes less management, but there is a considerable risk to consider. Another option is to move your crypto from your exchange to another software wallet. There are lots of different products out there, and you can find many of them. Just do a quick Google search. It'll give you a list. Pay attention to how they work, read about them, do your research, and make sure that you are selecting something that you feel comfortable with, both in terms of using on a normal basis, but also backing up that data and that information. Generally, there is a means to recover your lost private key, and we'll talk about that in a minute, So there always is a fallback, but again, the real fallback is discipline. You can still make the mistake of not taking the time to record what is called a seed phrase and other identity and access management information at the outset and securing that safely and storing it somewhere where it's not going to be damaged, destroyed, lost, etc. But we'll talk about those options in a second. So leaving it on your exchange or moving it from your exchange to a software wallet, both great options if that's what you want to do. Those are called hot storage because it's still online. It's on the internet. You may or may not want anyone else to have access to it on that level. But again, everything is up to you. You're the driver. You make the choices. You're responsible for your success or your failure. So research, make the best decision that you have, and compare different software wallets and exchanges for security, reviews, etc. Some exchanges don't have the best service reviews, customer service, getting responses can be challenging from some, and that definitely can affect your experience. So give it a lot of thought. Look before you leave. Another option is cold storage. And cold storage, in dichotomous existence to our hot storage, leaving it online, cold storage is taking your private keys offline and storing them safely on a hardware device built specifically for this purpose. So there are a lot of different hardware wallets to choose from, and each of them come with their own set of pros and cons. So most tokens and coins are supported on the big manufacturers. Some of the names that you'll hear are the Ledger, a Trezor. There are several different manufacturers, and again, they all have different levels of functionality and ease of use. Because they're small, sometimes the display is a little confusing. So again, do your research, compare them to each other, but they're getting better and much more user-friendly. So both of these, as we had said a moment ago, allow for a fallback of seed phrases to restore your lost private key. Now, I know everybody's going to be disciplined. They're not going to lose their private key. They're not going to lose their hardware device. But if it does happen through some hook or crook, you have a way to recover that key to get back to your wallet and back to the blockchain. So that is called a seed phrase. Generally, it is a list of random words that are instantiated when you open your account on an exchange, solely for this purpose, so that if you lose your login information, somehow port your keys and lose your access to your wallet, that there is a recovery mechanism. So if you get a seed phrase, not every exchange does this. Some actually hold your private keys on the exchange, so you can't port them off, but you can take some precautions to secure this stuff. So the seed phrase is critical. Put that in a safe deposit box, write it down, save it in a couple of different places where it's not going to get burned, lost, whatever, but save more than one copy. This is your fallback, and fallbacks are rare in the crypto space, so don't lose sight of that. Next section we're going to talk about is selection criteria, choosing where our research leads us to make smart investments. So I personally use a series of 3 filters. When I hear about a coin, here are the questions that I ask. So what exchanges are they being listed on? Who's listing these? Are they well-known exchanges? Are they popular? Are they being used? Is it a safe exchange? What is the market cap of the coin? So market cap is generally calculated. It's the current price multiplied by the circulation at the time. gives you an indication of the financial strength of the coin. When we look at coin market cap or any of our other tools, TradingView, any of those, we are generally given the crypto coins as far as their performance in market cap. So market cap is a primary driver of indication of value. Next question, what is their volume? Do they have public interest? Are people interested in this coin? And the last on the first filter is, what is their price action? Are they swinging all over the place? Is it a gradual rise? Is it a leaping rise? Are they taking steps? Are they just going slowly? What's happening with their price? And again, filter one is a first glance. What's it look like? If it looks attractive enough to take it to the next step, then we look at filter two. Filter two, basically, we are looking at the underpinnings of what is going on with the project. So what kind of transaction count is going on? Is there movement? How many active addresses are there? Is the community made up of a bunch of whales, the big investors with a lot of capital that fluctuate pricing by making huge buys and huge sells? Or is there a healthy population of retail investors, people like you and me, who buy and generally hold, maybe sell a little bit, but we're not brokers? Next question, staked amount. How much staked coin is there? And that's an important number because we need to remove that staked amount from our calculation, because that coin is not in circulation and it's not going to be for some time, and it's locked. So it can't really be taken into account when we do our pros and cons of the financial side of what this coin really represents. And then the last thing to look at, that I always look at, is what is the project presence? Are they robust? Do they have a website? Do they have a strong social media presence? Active Twitter, followers? Is there buzz? Another critically important thing, because as we had talked about before, a lot of these projects are in what's called beta stage. They're looking for investment, and they may be not too far down the field on a technical basis. So it's important to take a look at code commits. Are these people producing open source code that other developers can take a look at, see their progress? That's kind of important. It lets you know what's happening under the covers. So for larger investments, I don't stop there. I think the first filter is great, just a first glance. Really, it's attractiveness. Does it look good? Is it going to the right places? Is it out on good exchanges? Does it have good potential with the market cap? And is the price action not too crazy? The second filter of transaction counts, active addresses, who makes up the population of investors, staked amounts, and what is the buzz behind the project? Are they tangible, or does it seem more fly-by-night? For larger investments, we go to the third phase, where we get into a much more technical analysis and the mathematical ratios of performance. So charting ratios are the third filter. And the ratios that we look at are market cap to what's called the total value locked. That is those staked coins. And that's how we get those out of the calculation to ensure that we aren't coming up with inaccurate data. The next is a fully diluted valuation to the total value locked, the price to revenue and sales, and then the price to book ratio. We'll go over those in more detail when we get into our next section. Not today. That's going to be episodes 3 and 4. We're going to break it down into 2 episodes because it's a lot of information to unpack. So fluctuations happen. We know that. Not much good comes from anxiety-driven, knee-jerking reactions. We also all know that. So again, episodes 3 and 4, we're going to get deep in cryptonomics. Cryptonomics 1 and Cryptonomics 2. We're going to get into crypto market analysis, how to make sense of performance indicators, candlesticks, many more concepts that'll help make navigating the sea of data that's ahead of us a little bit more manageable. And we'll do a comparison and contrast between our standard stock markets and the crypto markets. They have a lot of similarities and they have a lot of differences also that are critical to pay attention to and understand to make sure that you have the experience that you want. With all that said, that's going to do it for today. We're going to keep it short, so that's it for episode 2. We would love to thank you again for being here. We appreciate your support. And until next time, do your own research. And thanks again for listening to the CryptoSavvy podcast. Thanks for joining us. Like, share, and participate. Send your questions or comments to help@cryptosavvy.org. Check out our website at cryptosavvy.org for episode information, to leave us a message, and to visit our store. We sincerely appreciate your support in helping us bring you this podcast. You can find the CryptoSavvy podcast on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Buzzsprout. Ask for us wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, do your own research, apply critical thinking, and make smart choices. See ya.